devastating to the community. It's devastating to the families.
Tonight, another Northern First Nation calls for help to battle a drug crisis. It comes after 2 teen girls were found frozen to death. Your local news starts now.
This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Thank you for joining us. The chief of a First Nation in northern Manitoba is sounding the alarm over what he calls a drug crisis in his community. It comes after the deaths of 2 14-year-old girls. CBC's Cameron McIntosh now with why the chief is demanding action.
Ayr is the main way into St. Teresa Point First Nation, 460 kilometers northeast of Winnipeg. But planes don't just carry in people.
That's the portal for all drugs to come in.
Chief Elvin Flett says drugs are to blame after 2 teen girls froze to death earlier this month. Autopsies are pending. The community leadership is assuming the girls had overdosed. Now he wants all bags coming in searched for drugs. He also says he's lost faith in the RCMP for what he's calling an inadequate investigation. He wants an inquest.
The Chief and Council of St. Teresa Point can no longer accept the notion that the proliferation of drugs and harmful substances.
We want to confirm, though, with the autopsy to make
RCMP say the deaths are still under investigation. Toxicology results could take a year. While RCMP broke up a drug ring that reached into the north earlier this month, drugs are still moving. The main airline that serves Manitoba's north does screen passengers and scan bags. Drug dogs are going to be added. But the province, which oversees northern airports, says further random searches of bags poses privacy issues. Manitoba's Grand Chief calls that dismissive.
We cannot allow the province of this country to write these deaths off as mere statistics.
Dana Shingoose was one of the girls found dead. Her grandfather says he doesn't know if drugs were involved, but says many in the community need addictions help.
We cannot quit on them. We cannot. We still have to talk to them. We still have to let them.
Now, both the province and federal governments say they've increased spending on addictions, mental health, and policing in Manitoba's north. Money community leaders say has yet to make a difference. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The Manitoba government promised 4 years ago to build 13 schools within a decade. Now it says it is ahead of schedule. Education Minister Wayne Owasco says they'll reach their goal 2 years earlier than expected by 2027. He made the announcement at the newly opened Bison Run School. He says a high school being built nearby will form a new campus in South Winnipeg.
The south end of Winnipeg is one of the fastest growing communities in all of Manitoba. So this new campus will ensure that parents in the south end can expect high quality education and infrastructure for their children.
9 more schools will be built over the next 4 years using a public-private partnership, sometimes called a P3 funding model. Meantime, staff at Red River College Polytech and Assiniboine Community College have voted to give their bargaining committee the authority to take strike action if necessary. Now, that doesn't mean members will hit the picket line anytime soon. The union says the strike mandate sends a powerful message to the employer. The vote affects nearly 1,900 instructors, IT, and administrative staff. Communities south of Winnipeg are bracing for another spring flood while still cleaning up the damage from last year. The province says we could get another major flood along the Red River. While southern Manitoba is no stranger to flooding, CBC's Josh Crabb has more on how this forecast caught some by surprise.
Heavy snowstorms in the northern United States late this winter have officials here preparing for all that moisture to come this way. The Manitoba government says there could be major flooding on the Red River this spring. That's not the news people in the RM of Montcalm wanted to hear. The municipality, which includes the town of Saint-Jean-Baptiste, still has about $15 million worth of repairs to do after last year's flood. Reeve Paul Gilmore says the damage was significant. He says fighting another flood could postpone those repairs. Gilmore says they have to face facts, but he wasn't expecting to be dealing with an overflowing river again this year.
We were a little surprised at the announcement because just a few weeks ago, we were told that there was no major risk, and now all of a sudden there is. So it is a surprise. Understandable, though, because we're at the limit of the weather.
The RM of Montcalm isn't alone. Richop Mayor Chris Ewan says the municipality just south of Winnipeg is also dealing with repairs from 2022. He says it's still important to deal with the damage from last year, mainly to make sure farmers can get on their land to plant a crop. Communities along the Red River have good flood protection in place to keep them safe from any major flooding. Under the worst case scenario, this year the flood would be similar to 2020. Highway 75 stayed open that year. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Now, a slow and steady warm-up is also what's needed to get patio season underway. Today, the city announced it is accepting registrations for its temporary patio program. It is also waiving administrative fees until the end of this month. The program allows businesses to operate temporary patios from April until the end of October. Thousands of young hockey players and their families are lacing up their skates this weekend. The 33rd annual Indigenous Minor Hockey Tournament kicked off today. It is the first time in 2 years the tournament has been held because of the pandemic. Kids playing range in age from under 7 to 18 years old. It's a chance for them to test their skills and make new friends.
What we've heard from our teams and our players, the coaches, everybody is excited to get back to this tournament. They look forward to this tournament every year. So to have it back again after an 3-year absence has been amazing.
58 teams and 4,000 players and supporters from across Manitoba and as far away as Nunavut are taking part. It wraps up on Sunday. All right, let's take a live look at downtown Winnipeg. We are expecting a mainly sunny weekend across much of the province. I'll have your weather forecast and a sign of spring coming up after the break.
This weather update is brought to you by Capital Ford Lincoln. The trade and upgrade event is on now.
Welcome back. Well, I promised a sure sign of spring, and here it is. Oak Hammock Marsh says tonight the first goose arrived there at 7:46 p.m. Well, the goose was greeted with clear skies tonight. Seeing a little bit of high-level cloud still in eastern Manitoba and in parts of the Red River Valley. We will see a little bit of cloud begin to build in through the night tonight, starting with a mainly sunny sky tomorrow morning. Hint of a flurry across southern Manitoba. Nothing major, just could see a few snowflakes in that clouded area through the morning tomorrow. As we get through the rest of the day, mainly sunny skies, a few clouds in northern Manitoba. Much the same for Sunday. We do see a little bit more cloud building in, and we could see some more flurries or some light snow in parts of northern Manitoba through the later part of Sunday and into Monday. In terms of temperatures, overnight tonight, we are going to dip down to about -10 in the city of Winnipeg, -9 first thing in the morning in Winnipeg. A little bit cooler to the western part of the province, and then warming up quite nicely, still below normal for this time of the year. -3 in Winnipeg under a mainly sunny sky, -7 under cloud cover in Thompson. Looking at your 7-day forecast now, we're expecting maybe breezy conditions tomorrow as well. -4 under a mainly sunny sky for Sunday, and then sunshine for the rest of the 7-day forecast. Still a little bit below normal, but we could see some more sunshine on Friday as well. And that's your late news for this Friday. Thanks for being with us. We leave you tonight with a look at tonight's big Ramadan feast at Winnipeg's Grand Mosque on Waverley. Have a great weekend.